All right. Well, hey everyone, how you doing? Hope all is well and you're having an amazing day. My name is Pierre, and I am so excited to have the opportunity to share just a little bit of wisdom, right? If I want to call it that today. Man, I have such an opportunity to be hanging out with my friend Daniel. Man, we have been connected for years. Such an amazing leader, amazing husband, amazing father, and honestly, I've learned so much from him. So to have the opportunity to share on his platform today, man, is so exciting, and to really speak to all of us as leaders. I believe that what we have to share today will definitely add some massive value to you and everything that you're doing. A little bit about myself real quick, and then we're going to jump right in. I'm a pastor as well, a leader, speaker, mentor, trainer, and as well as a coach, right? I predominantly at the moment spend a lot of my time working in marketplace ministry. But over the years, we've been youth pastors, we've been associate pastors, we've been executive pastors, outreach pastors, and even lead pastors over the years. And to now really have this opportunity to just share a little bit about our journey through what I have for us today, I believe ultimately will be a blessing to us all. Because today I want to talk about the power of change. I know, pause. I know you probably already got a little thrown off, right? That C word. That many of us don't like, right? Change. But ultimately, I just believe that change is really critical along the journey of development. I mean, when you really think about it, right? In life, we have goals, we have dreams, we have so many things that we want to achieve, that we want to go after. But if we be honest, majority of what we desire, majority of what we're going after, majority of what we want to achieve is on the other side of change. Really, when you look at it, for most of us, and I know for myself especially, as I was going along, I didn't realize that majority of what I wanted in life was on the other side of what I needed to become, what I needed to grow to, what I needed to develop, or what I needed to change to ultimately get to where I need to get to. You see, majority of us, we have old thinking. If you really think about it, right? Old thinking, old actions, old approaches, old reactions, old perspectives, old mindsets, but we're trying to do new things. We're trying to achieve new heights. We're trying to go to new levels, but we don't realize that we're still taking the old man, the old perspective, the old mindset with us. And so really for us to become all that God, I believe, has destined and designed for us to be, it's going to require change. It's going to require a time, a season, a moment of development, right, as you go through. All goals, no matter what it is, no matter what you're looking to achieve, all goals in life require some level of change. We have to admit that many times, and this is the honest part that we have to have in life, many times we are not fully the person that we need to be to walk into everything that we desire to walk into. I mean, really picture this right now. If you were handed everything that you desire right now, like snap my finger, everything that you want has just appeared, it's just arrived, it's at your front doorstep. Could we really handle all of it at the level that we are right now? And if we be honest, for most of us, the answer is no. We wouldn't be able to, because we haven't grown into who we need to be. We haven't developed fully into who we need to be. We haven't changed some things to really step into everything that we desire to achieve and everything that God has for us. You see, there's three types of people. And this is just something that I've learned over time. The first type of person are those people who watch things happen. Right? You have those, right? Like I'm gonna stand behind, I'm gonna stand on the sideline, I may be on the bench, and I'm just gonna watch things happen. Life is passing by, things are passing by. The shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? You're thinking to yourself, man, that would be great, that would be awesome, that would be wonderful, that would be amazing, right? To achieve, to have. But in all honesty, man, I'm just watching things happen. And then you have that second type of person, right? That's the person who goes, you know what? I got to make things happen. That's the person who says, you know what? Put me in the game, coach. Like, I'm ready to go in. I don't want to be on the sideline anymore. I don't want to be on the bench. I want to be active in the game, right? Put me in, check me in. I'm ready. I got what it takes. I'm willing. Even if I don't know, even if I don't fully understand, man, I'm ready to go. Put me in. And then ultimately, you have a third type of person, and that's the one that doesn't know what's happening, right? That's the person who's disconnected. That's the person that didn't even know there was a game being played. That's the person who didn't even know they were supposed to show up. And unfortunately, majority of the time, we find ourselves as this third person where we don't even know we're not engaged. We're not active. We're not proactive. We tend to find ourselves being reactive at times. But I'm telling you, if you're on a journey of achievement, it's going to require you making some things happen. And one of those things that you have to make happen is going to be change. You're going to have to be willing to get uncomfortable, to develop, to become. It's just the journey and the process that we all have to go through. But I know in this moment, some of you are probably thinking, well, you know what, AJ, that sounds good. That sounds great. That even sounds wonderful. But I got to be honest, I don't know if I can change. I don't know if I can change. I don't know if I can do it. You see, there's a couple of reasons why people don't change. See, one of the main reasons why people don't change is many people don't believe they need to change. Now, that's an interesting place. I'm pretty sure all of us can think about somebody right now, all right, off the top of your head that you're like, that person needs to change. And they are completely unaware that something's wrong. They're completely unaware that things aren't working out the way they need to. They're just unaware. So a lot of people don't believe they need to change, right? There's nothing wrong. It just is the way it is. But then there's other people that say to themselves, you know what? I don't believe I can change. You know, I think we've all heard the person say, right? It's just me. This is just the way I am. It is what it is, right? And so many times we'll be on this journey and we'll think to ourselves, man, I don't believe I can change. I believe I'm stuck. I believe that there's nothing I can do. But I'm here to tell you today that in actuality, that's a lie. There's a lot that you can do. Believe it or not, we all can change. We all can develop. We all can grow. I think there's a group of people out there that honestly, they want to change, but they don't know how to change. So that's interesting because today I believe I'm going to share with you a couple of steps or keys that you can actually implement right now. That if you want to start that process of change, that process of development, you can actually take that and run with it. But there's many out there that may say, you know what, I want to. I know that I do not like where I am right now. I don't like what's going on. I don't like how it makes me feel. I don't like the results that I'm getting. I know something needs to change, but AJ, I don't know how. Hey, stay tuned. I'm telling you, I'm going to give you a couple tips, tricks, even some nuggets that you can implement that I believe will help you begin, right, that journey to change. And then ultimately, I think this is the group that you don't want to be in. But there are those that just honestly don't want to change. They know something's wrong. They know they can change. They know they can develop, and they even know the steps to take. But unfortunately, they're in a moment, maybe a time, maybe a season, whatever the case may be, where they say, you know what? I'm good where I am. I don't want to change. I don't see the point of changing. I don't see the need to change. Well, to that group, I would say, hey, I understand that's how you may feel. But if you really want to grow, if you really want to develop, if you really want to step into everything that God has for you, it is going to require you getting uncomfortable, you being willing to shift, you being willing to change some things to really step into who you've been designed and destined to be. And I'm telling you, that individual is right on the other side of change. So here's what I want to do. I know I just kind of referenced it, mentioned it a little bit. I want to give you some tips or some keys that I believe if we implement will really help us to not only begin the journey to change, but I believe ultimately see the change that we long for and step into those results that we're looking to achieve. Number one, and I think this is the biggest piece of it all, awareness. You have to have awareness. The worst thing that can happen is to be walking around not even realizing that something is wrong. But awareness is key. You have to be able to be honest with yourself. And I know a lot of times what we'll do is, and I notice my hand is raised, right? I am the first partaker in this, where a lot of times you'll tell yourself everything's okay, nothing's wrong. Like you'll try to self-convince yourself that everything is moving in the direction that it needs to. But some days we have to be honest, guys. We have to be willing to look at a situation, to look at what's right in front of us, to look at what's going on and say to ourselves, you know what? This isn't it. This isn't working. Things aren't lining up. They're not going the way that I think they should. I'm not getting the results that I desire to. I'm not playing at my full potential. I'm not maxing out the totality of who I am. That is going to require a level of awareness and honesty that we have to have with ourselves. You see, everyone around you can see it, but if you can't see it, you can never change. If you can't acknowledge that something is wrong, then you can never change. If you can't accept the truth of what's right in front of you, then it's going to be impossible to change. So the first step, the first key on that process of change is going to be awareness. Self-awareness is everything, right? Waking up to the fact of what's actually going on and what I can do to ultimately develop and grow is going to be key and critical on that journey to change. But see, the second step is just as important, right? Because after awareness happens, acceptance has to be the thing that follows. Because we all know, we can know something's wrong. We can know something's not working. We can be aware of it, but not accept the truth. And the major key along this journey of change is going to be after you become aware of what the truth actually is then accepting it. I remember growing up, right? I was a young man and they were saying, AJ, you know what, man, there's just certain things you want to do. Like you couldn't have told me I wasn't going to be the next NBA star. Like I was the guy. And it was funny because at the time I may have been like 5'4", right? A junior in high school. And I'm like, man, I'm telling you, I'm the next one. I'm going to be the great thing. And I remember people around me saying, hey, AJ, you know, odds are, you know what I mean? The way things are going right now, that may not be the truth. And I was like, no, I'm not listening. It's going to happen. I'm telling you, I'm going to be that guy. See, I had the awareness that I may have not had the height necessary to go after that, but I refused to accept the truth of what was right in front of me. And for us, many times, what ends up happening is we become aware of the issues. We become aware of the shortfalls. We become aware of what needs to be changed. We become aware of what we don't like. We become aware of what offends us. We become aware of what we don't line up with. We become aware of what's not making sense anymore. We become aware of the results that aren't happening, but unfortunately, we refuse to accept that truth. And the key to change is getting to the place where you don't only become aware, but then you also at the same time say, you know what, I accept the fact of what's right in front of me. And when you do that, you begin once again that journey, right? That journey towards the change that you long to see. But I think the third key, all right, or the third step, which is big along this journey, is what we would say is affirmation. You have to begin affirming where you want to go. You have to begin affirming what you want to be. You have to begin affirming the results that you want to see. You see, you can become aware that something's wrong, and you can accept that something's wrong. But my question would be, then are you affirming where you actually want to be? Are you affirming the change that you actually want to see? Right? What do you want your life to look like? Right? What do you want to become? What achievements do you want to get? What results do you want to see happen? What levels do you want to get to? Right? How great do you want to become? Those are all things that you got to begin looking at and saying to yourself, how do I affirm those statements? How do I affirm that mindset? How do I affirm that perspective? How do I affirm that reality? Because once you begin to see it as a potential, right? Once you begin to see it as, you know what, this could actually happen, you'll begin to be willing to put in the action that's needed to ultimately be able to accomplish those very things. Because that brings us to our fourth key, which is the action plan. See, that action plan has to be specified, it has to be very specific, and has to be very detailed. You have to put it in writing, like what are the practical action steps that you need to take? You know what? You've become aware. You got it. You see the issue, right? You've accepted the truth of what it really is. You say, you know what? Okay, let me begin affirming where I want to go. All right, here's where I want to be. Here's what I want to do. Okay, now what steps do you actually need to take to begin making the changes necessary to get to where you want to get to? You see, that action plan is the tangible steps that you can take to begin that development process that takes you where you want to be. And so for most of us, we never actually get into action because we don't have an action plan. We don't have steps in place. We don't know what it's actually going to take to get to where we want to get to. So I'm telling you today that the key, okay, one of the major keys along this journey is, what is that plan? What is that plan? What steps are they? What do they look like? Who do you need to connect to? Where do you need to go? What do you need to start reading? What do you need to cut away from? What do you need to cut off? What do you need to disconnect? What do you need to start doing? What do you need to stop doing? Like, all those are things that you need to start putting down on paper that will create the strategy needed to ultimately create the change that you want to see. Because the fifth key along this journey is then going to be the part that matters most, and that is taking the action steps. You see, you're aware, right? You've accepted, you've affirmed, you've put together the action plan. Now it's time to work. Now it's time, right, to get up daily and do the things necessary, right, to be able to get to where you want to get to. It's funny because right now I'm on this health journey, right? And it's interesting because I became very aware by looking at some old pictures. I'm pretty sure some of us have done this before, right? Like you're going through your phone or maybe you're going through some old pictures. For me, is I went through some old like pictures when I had first got out of high school, and I was like, man, I was in shape. Man, I looked great, man. My six pack was ready. Man, my arms were looking great. It's funny. I could not find one picture, right, at that point in time where I had a shirt on. I mean, clearly I was excited, right, about how I looked and what was going on. But what was interesting is I started looking at some current pictures. And I said, man, wow, I've gotten really far away from that. Man, I've gotten very distant. And of course, being on Instagram and stuff, and you're seeing all the workout videos. And I said, man, I remember, man, when I was in shape. I remember when I felt great. I remember when I felt healthy. I became aware that something was wrong. And very quickly, because I had the evidence right in front of me, I accepted that fact, right? That I wasn't in the best of shape, that I wasn't going in the right direction. And so I started affirming. I remember making a little collage of like, okay, this is how I want to look, and this is what I want to be doing when I get there, and this is the shape that I want, and this is how, all of that, right? Started affirming that. And then I said, okay, you know what I got to do? I got to put together an action plan. So I'm gonna get up in the morning and I'm gonna do this workout. After that, you know what? I'm gonna eat like this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. And I had the plan and everything mapped out. But here's the honest truth of all of it. All of those steps could have been great, but if I would have never got up and actually when it worked out, nothing would have happened. If I wouldn't actually made the conscious decision to eat the way that I needed to eat, nothing would have happened. See, in life, the results come from the action taken. The first 4 steps of awareness, of acceptance, of affirmation, and of the action plan are nothing more than, if you want to call it, the pre-planning for what you want to achieve, but it's the action steps. The tangible, every single day action that you take, those are going to be the things that get you closer to what you want, to help you change, to help you develop, to help you mature. You see, those action steps are critical, but that's where a lot of us actually fall short. It's where we miss the mark. We say we want to develop in this area. We say we want to achieve this, but when it comes time to actually put the work in, that's where we miss it. So if there's anything that you're going to do in this moment, whatever level you want to grow to, or whatever change you want to see, whatever developmental process you want to go through, action steps have to be a part. You have to be willing that once you've planned, once you've prepared, that you actually go and you put that work in. You have to hit the ground running. What are the action steps? Go for it. Whatever it is that you need to do right now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till next week. Don't wait till next month. Don't wait till next year. Put it in now, right? Whatever action steps they are, whatever steps you need to take, whatever it is that you need to do, you already know. But start now. I love sharing this with people, and this is one thing I always say. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll try to future cast. Oh, I'll start when. I'll start if. I'll start when the conditions are right, when the situation is perfect, or when I have XYZ lined up. But I'm a believer of start from where you stand. Right where you are right now. Start from there. Start with what you have. Start with what you know. Just start now. Start right from where you are. Start from where you stand. You have what it takes right now to start the development process. You have what it takes right now to start the change process, but it's going to require you to get into action. And then I want to leave you with the 6th key that I believe will bring an impact to your life that will completely blow you away, and that's accountability. Now, what's interesting with accountability is that's the word that most of us don't like, because it requires for us to have not just ourselves, but an outside individual that holds our feet to the fire to go after what we want to go after. You see, accountability is key. Here's the question I have for you today. Do you have mentors in your life? Do you have coaches in your life? Who has, I'm asking this serious question, who has the authority right now to speak into your life? Who has your ear? You see, accountability, coaches, mentorship is key, because here's what's going to happen. Along the journey, you're going to encounter things. We all will encounter things that we didn't know, that we don't understand, that doesn't make sense, that we didn't even see coming. I'm talking about blind side. And what a coach and a mentor will do for you is they will help you see the hurdles before they even come. You see, I get it. I understand. Some of us, right, and I'm kind of like that, we can learn, right, by what we hear, right? So if somebody says something, they'll be like, okay, wow, that makes sense. I got it. I understand. I see it. Others, right, we learn by seeing what others do. So if somebody does something that doesn't work out, they're like, man, I'm never going to go do that. Or if somebody does something and it does work out, we'll go, man, you know what, I'm going to go do it just like that. But then there's that select group. I think I'm part of this group, right? We're the ones that say, you know what, I got to learn by experience. I got to learn by doing. I got to learn by trial and error, right? And so with that, what a coach or a mentor or accountability is going to do for you is it's going to help you stay on track. It's going to help you lock back in. It's going to help you avoid some of those learning experiences that we think we need to go through, because why? Someone else has already been there and has done that. Like in my life right now, I have accountability in every area. So I have marriage mentors, right? For my wife and I, making sure that we stay on track, right? That when we face issues, when we face situations, we can know how to travel through them, how to navigate them, right? How to journey through it. I have business coaches, entrepreneurial coaches, right, that help me along the journey of figuring things out. But I have ministry coaches. I have mentors in my life that help us with our ministry and just processing pastoring and processing what that feels like and processing how do we go. But here's the honest truth. I have husband mentors. I have guys in my life that ultimately help me as a husband. Like, hey, bro, you're not looking at that the right way. Hey, why don't you try looking at it this way? I have, believe it or not, father mentors. Guys that are way further along the journey in fatherhood that'll help me navigate what I do with my own son. You see, mentors, coaches, accountability are key, right, in helping you stay the course. Because I'm telling you, when you start the process of change, when you start that journey, when you start going after it, you're going to hit hurdles. You're going to hit stumbling blocks. It's not going to always be easy. It's not always going to feel safe. There are going to be times along the journey where you're going to say, you know what, never mind. This is too tough. This is too difficult. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm giving up. This doesn't make sense. Let me just go back to what was comfortable. Let me go back to what I know. Let me go find the easy way out or the simple journey that I can take. But what the mentor or the coach will do is they'll help you stay the course. They'll help you continue to navigate, and they'll help give you perspective on what you're actually walking through. And so, guys, I want to share with you today that change is possible, but even greater, change is needed. Change is needed. We have to develop everything that we desire in life, as I shared with you before, is on the other side of change. So whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever it is that you're going after, whatever it is that you want to achieve, be willing to change. Be willing to develop. Be willing to grow. And I'm telling you, everything that you desire will be on the other side of who you become in the process. You see, for us, we understand the journey. And the journey, the frustrating part of it all is that many times it doesn't look like the end destination, right? And so we say, you know what? Hey, let me forget all this. But I'm telling you, the change that you go through along the journey is exactly what you need to reach your destined end. I'm telling you, God has great things in store for us all, but it's going to require us to develop to ultimately get there. And so with that, man, thank you so much, all right, for giving me just a small, right, amount of time to just share some nuggets and principles with you. Hey, these are things that we're implementing currently in our life, that we're going after, that we're looking to achieve. Hey, I want to grow. I want to develop. I want to reach the heights that God has called me to. But I know that ultimately it's the power of change that's going to help me do just that. And so with that, God bless you all. Thank you so much for your time, man. Hey, Dan, thank you again, brother, for giving us the opportunity to be on with you all today. It's always a privilege. It's always a blessing, and it's definitely an honor. And with that, we'll talk to you soon.